Hey guys, how you going? Hope you're all doing very well. This evening I'm going to be doing another movie review for you all. This movie is a dark comedy from Australia, English language, released in the year 2025, directed by Zoe Pepper, and this film is called Birthright. So Birthright is about a married couple. They're expecting their first child very soon, but unfortunately things have gone from bad to worse for them when the husband has lost his job, his contract was not renewed, and now they've been evicted from their house. So they've got nowhere to stay, so the last option is to ask this husband's parents. Now the parents are reluctant to accept them, but they see as parental love that they've got no other choice. So the initial plan is that they're going to be here for 3 weeks and then they're going to move on. But unfortunately that 3 weeks turns out to be a lot longer, and now the relationship within the family is going to be put under severe strain and things are going to go really, really bad. So what happens at that point on is something you're going to have to find out for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going with my synopsis. Now my thoughts on Birthright. For those of you who are familiar with my channel, you know my biggest gripe with Australian cinema is that they're all melodramatic made-for-TV experiences, and there's experiences that are not enough to really sell my country to the rest of the world. So you have the odd movie here and there that has really launched out and made a name for itself, but they are very few and far between. So you really have to shift through a lot of really mediocre stuff before you come across gold, and I wasn't expecting gold with this experience. When I saw the trailer I thought it looked interesting, but it wouldn't be the first time an Australian film looked interesting, but the overall end product was a disappointment. So that was the initial expectation coming into this movie, but I always have my fingers crossed that I'm going to get another movie from my country that's going to really splash itself out there. And so after watching Birthright, I can say that this was not a complete waste of time. This movie does have a lot of thought-provoking qualities to it, but it does have the negatives that are very frequent in Australian films that I'll go into a little bit later. But what I liked about Birthright is that it throws a very important issue, that is the Australian housing crisis, and just how difficult it is for the younger generation to actually purchase a house. The Australian dream has become the Australian nightmare, and I thought that was depicted really, really well in this movie. This is a film that has slight insanity to it, so it's suspension of disbelief, but the overall thought-provoking process to this movie, I thought to myself it was worth the effort, especially if you've gone through this certain situation. It's also a movie about generational gaps. You have the elderly generation that see the younger generation as lazy, parasites, just leeching off them for the money, and the sense of entitlement. And this sense of entitlement in this movie was actually present, and it does become somewhat tiresome, but I could see that this is, as I said, the generational gap. Back in the old days, it was very different. The circumstances were a lot different, and the modern day, once again, circumstances have changed. Because these generational sort of aspects don't really understand each other, it's a ticking time bomb. The whole film has a simmering process to it where I thought to myself, it's going to end badly. And it does end badly. I thought the dark ending to the movie was actually a welcome surprise. I wasn't expecting that. And so I have to give Zoe Pepper credit for actually achieving that and actually surprising me in a way where I was actually thinking this is going to be another generic made-for-TV film. So the whole movie has a really dark atmosphere to it. The cinematography is very dreary, and at the start of the movie there are promises that are made that are not kept, and each promise that is broken, it's slowly building the tension. So there is suspense to the film. You don't know how far things are going to get out of control, but it's because of the, as I said, the generational indifferences that I just felt to myself, alright, nothing is going to end well here because there's no sense of understanding. So the acting I thought was decent. I thought as though there were some moments that were incredibly awkward as far as the humour is concerned. There's one scene involving the young adult wearing his father's jacket. I'm not going to give anything away, but that was really shocking in a really funny way. But I just thought to myself, the overall message is a very important one, and it's something that will make you think. So if you like your dark sort of comedy dramas from Australia, this is a movie I would recommend. If I have issues with this movie, unfortunately, it doesn't fully break away from the made-for-TV feel. I felt as though, yes, the movie does take risks and it is daring, but it just felt a little bit constrained to the levels of safety. I felt as though it could have really branched out and smashed it for 6 as far as offending people's concerned. It just felt it was a little bit hesitant to do that. I thought the tone was very different, was all over the place. Yeah, this is a movie that wants to show a serious message, but it's done in a light-hearted way that kind of contradicts that message. You want to get it out there and have a thought-provoking quality, but the tonal differences in this movie, at one stage it's funny, at one stage it's serious, and I just don't feel as though it was consistent enough to actually make it that rewarding movie. I thought the humour, it wasn't as funny as I was expecting. At each to their own. Humour is subjective, so you may have found this movie hilarious, but it's not the hilarious movie that I actually wanted it to be. There were moments that made me chuckle, there were moments that shocked me as far as awkwardness is concerned, but I just didn't really feel as though it hit the mark as far as a genuine comedy. I thought as though the main character, the husband, he was really, really irritating, but again, that is the entitlement that this movie wants to depict. I thought as though it just got to a stage where it was really on my nerves, and so that didn't make the ending as good as it could have been. So yes, I like the dark quality of the ending, but I just thought as though because this guy was so irritating, it just left a really sour taste in my mouth. And so that was the issues I had with this movie. It's not a great film, but it's a lot better than I thought it would be. As far as the standard melodrama made for TV crap that has been churned out time and time again, this is a movie that is definitely elevated above that, and so that was something that I really liked. It's not a great film, it's not a movie that's going to really last the test of time as far as memory is concerned, but if you are after something and there's nothing else to watch, this is a movie I would recommend. As a result of that, I'm going to give Birthright 3 stars. Alright guys, that's it for my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later.